What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of J Talks Hoops. And in today's episode, we are going to be breaking down this common foul that was called against Tina Charles. Now, she slapped Leah Boss in the face, and it was unnecessary. And she's a vet in the WNBA. So you should understand as a defender out here, if the offensive player has the advantage in the post, you don't need to grab her arm and get her off of you because she's got position. She's using her strength to get an advantage on you, and you just decide to slap her in the face. She falls to the ground. You don't try to check on her. And that's just a bad look. And the refs in this situation look even worse because they didn't review the play. They didn't go to the monitor and say, you know what? That looked a little bit like something outside of just a common foul. They decided not to do that whatsoever. And they're not protecting the players out here. It is like, as you see some fans say, prison ball, street ball, whatever you want to call it. It's been nasty stuff. We saw the clip from Sophie Cunningham, and it just continues to get worse. And if we have a situation in the playoffs where the physicality goes up to another level and there's non-basketball plays happening and you don't have that game under control, players are going to get frustrated. You see, the problem with the WNBA right now is they have these type of physical plays, but then you have phantom calls being made, and there's too much inconsistencies going on. Now I'm going to play the clip and give you some of my thoughts.
There's definitely some jockeying for positioning happening. Oh,
Notice the commentator, she went completely silent after she saw the play. Man, this is just embarrassing stuff from this league. And when is it going to be enough? Do they have to have an injury happen where somebody tears an ACL, breaks a bone, and it happens to a key star player where the league's like, okay, maybe we should change some things up? Doesn't need to reach that type of level. I hope it doesn't. But man, like Aliyah Boston has clear position here. And Caitlin Clark was actually asking to come up and set a screen, but Boston's like, I have the advantage here. Just throw it over here and let me just catch the ball. And as you can see, Tina Charles just gets her arm off her. And, Aliyah Boston is using her strength to her advantage. And like I said, Tina Charles is a vet. She knows better. That is unnecessary stuff. We don't want to see that as fans. You do nothing about it. And here's the worst part about all this going on in the WNBA. You don't have any fines, suspensions that are on the right players. Because when you look at it with Sophie Cunningham, we talked about this before, she defended Caitlin Clark in the previous game and got fined, came to her aid. And the league said, no, we're going to slap you with a fine. When it was clearly Sheldon's fault and Marina Mabrey's fault. They're the ones who instigated that whole situation. I just don't get it. The WNBA can be sometimes, or really, the majority of the time, a complete joke when it comes to the refs. So, yeah, I just don't like this whole situation. Now, I want to show you this too, because, Aliyah and Tina Charles did talk after the game, and, she was giving her advice to the young star. That's cool and all, but I hope you apologize too and not justified why you slapped her in the face because that's not a good look. You can try to send her some pointers and say, like, this is how you should be playing. But yeah, I just don't like how the refs are handling this, and the league is just not stepping in. I get you want physicality, but yeah, as you see, some people are just upset. And I get it. You got to understand, like, you have new fans watching this. If they see this type of thing going on over and over again, then you are going to turn off people from watching. And I can't blame you if you don't want to watch the product, especially when it's like WWE or UFC style. Like, I just can't blame you. The son of 3 and 19, I researched Charles and asking advice on how to win games. That's funny. Yeah, this is a great point. How about the moments where you let poor sports brutalize the gal that fills the seats? Beginning to think CC is upsetting the money laundering grift that is the WNBA. Hence the jail yard tactics, blind mice refs, and 3 new expansion teams to help cook the books. Pathetic. Yeah, and I agree. You're going to lose a lot of people if you don't get some refs who will call a decent game. They're completely obvious, terrible calls. And now calls from them, and it can't be human error. It looks intentional. You do you, but the videos are clear. So, yeah, you can post about, oh, yeah, look at them getting along, and Aliyah Boston is going to advise some Tina Charles, the vet. But fans aren't going to be too pleased. You got to do better here. This isn't a great look for the league itself. Like, you clearly slapped her in the face when she had the advantage in the post. They were jockeying for position, but Aliyah Boston had the advantage. It was obvious. So you can try and act like, oh, let's just all get along. No, that's not cool. You got to be consistent. This league feels very unserious. I am very curious to see how the negotiations go tomorrow. Are the players going to call this stuff out? And will the league actually listen to them and take some action? Because if we continue down this pathway and an injury happens to a key star player, let's say Nafisa Collier gets bullied out there and she hurts her ankle and she misses the rest of the playoffs because of a dirty tactic. Do you think that's going to go well with your league? Obviously, we know about Caitlin Clark, but let's talk bigger picture. That's not a good look. Get this all cleaned up because it is just getting annoying to watch as a fan. And I want the league to grow. Look, I don't mind physicality. I don't mind playing hard. But when you don't make the right call in that situation, whether you're escalating it to an ejection or a flagrant, or you are calling softer calls when it's clearly not a foul, that's where I have a problem. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you enjoyed my reaction, make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel. Love to hear your thoughts about this incident between Tina Charles and Aliyah Boston. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.